right, hi guys, I'm Meredith Peterson with the Down Syndrome Association of Pittsburgh, and welcome to our Buddy Walk Team Captain Meetup. So we have some folks here in person. We're here in the South Side at Coach. And then we also have some folks joining us online, and then we're recording this so we can continue to share and use this as a resource. So I think just, out of respect, I think it would be awesome for us to go around and introduce ourselves. So I myself, this is my 13th year being a team captain. So really excited to have an event like this to be able to showcase all of the cool things that you can do as a team captain. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you, Masha.
Hi, everyone. I am Masha Zaldonis. I am the Administrative Program Coordinator at DSAP. This will be my second year as a team captain, but I've participated in the past. So I've gone to the walk, and I'll be here with DSAP about a year coming up. So happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Nicole Scott. I have been a team captain for now 7 years, and I'm excited to share some of the things I've done.
Hi, my name is Carrie Carvel, and I've been a team captain for 4 years. So again, excited to learn some new ways to generate some more money.
Awesome. And then Joe, can I pass it over to you?
Yep, I'm Joe Beeman. This will be my first time as a team captain with DSAP. I was also a team captain on a buddy walk in Philadelphia before I moved to Pittsburgh.
Awesome. Sam?
Hi, this is Sam and Maya's here. This is my first year as a team captain. We attended the buddy walk last year with our mentor Casey, but we are going to try and be our own team this year. So
Awesome. And Brian?
Sure. So we are Brian and Lisa. We are our little guy Phoenix is 6 years old this year. So we are this might be our 7th year minus the COVID years, right? Of being involved in the buddy walk since he was little.
Well, fabulous. Awesome. Well, so glad to have everybody here. And what we have is we have put together a slideshow that has a lot of resources. So when we're done, we're going to follow up with everyone with a PDF of this. And then those of you that are here, you can take it with you. So you can have that resource. So we'll go ahead, and Masha can go ahead and get us started. So we just wanted to share just a little bit about, what the Down Syndrome Association of Pittsburgh is. So you have those resources as you're, sharing with the community why it is that you're walking. So we've put our mission here, we've put our vision, we have our 3 pillars that connect, educate, and inspire, and just how we're, who we're serving, what we're doing. Almost like the part in blue almost showcases a snippet of our vision and mission together. I use that as a quick little sharing tool just to talk about what it is that we do. We also have our social media, platforms there as well, just to continue to get the word out and get things going. Big goal, $225,000 is what we're looking to raise. So our board of directors has challenged us big. That was our goal last year, and we came very close last year. We didn't quite make it, but we were very close. So we decided to keep that goal. So we're going to go hard and get there. So, what we're doing here is it's 50% of our annual budget. So we're looking to raise this money so that we can bring more programs and more support and all of the different things that we do here for our community for 2024. So it's not just a, there's a purpose behind, why it is that we fundraise. So if you have any questions, we have put up our contact information several different times, but here's just a great place to see it again. All right, so on our Buddy Walk site, which is the dfstride.org/Pittsburgh PGH Buddy Walk, that is our main site, and across the middle, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at the screen here as I'm pointing, but across the middle are, just different, what's the word I want to say?
Tabs.
Tabs.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry. Different tabs. And so there is a team captain tab. So as we continue to add more resources and more things that will help you as a team captain, that is going to be your tab. So on here is, as you have your team, you already have your team created, you have your page started. Now we're just going to give you some, tools to help you utilize the platform that we have created for you, as well as how you can take that platform and share it, use it, and QR code it to get people to go right there. Each of us have a unique URL for our page site as well. So we'll talk about that as we go along, but just big picture, on this team captain tab in the team captain corner, we're going to talk about how to design, how to publish your page, how to manage your page with team members. Those of you that were team captains last year, if you haven't noticed, you can go in and check it out. You can go and look and be able to email all of the people that were on your team last year to let them know, hey, I have a team this year. Come join my team again. So all of those resources are right there. So that's going to be under that manage section. And then there's a whole big portion about how to promote, how to fundraise, and how to thank your supporters. Another cool thing that's right here is from your list, you can thank everybody. So as people are joining your team, you can shoot them a quick email directly from the site. You don't have to open your email, you can just go right there. So if you hear from us, I'm using that too. So we have a way that we can reach right out to all of our team captains. We can reach right out to everyone that's registered. So it's just a quick email, in-house email service that just really keeps it easy. And there's just so many tools, but I don't want to read through all of it. I just wanted to give you this quick overview so that it can be a great reference.
And I'll add into that this is kind of the overview of the process. So, I mean, if you are already a team captain, this is likely all of the things you've done or have done some of them, but this is also a good starting point for people who may not know where to begin. So you would register as a team captain, you would get your page together, you would set your goal, put up a picture, tell your story, and then start sharing. And similar to what Meredith had just shared, is you would publish, you would look at your page with team members and all of that good stuff.
Does anyone have any questions or thoughts about the big picture overview?
Welcome.
Anybody in here have any questions? Anybody online have any questions?
Yeah, and you're welcome to either raise your hand, unmute.
I think there's some good information. I didn't know certain things. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly why we're here.
Yes.
All right, so this is the fun stuff. We're gonna go flip over to page 5. You guys haven't seen these awesome incentives. This is something that we implemented for the first time last year, and we heard some great things, and we revamped it and moved some things around and really made it more purposeful this year. So we have it where the first level is our favorite number, $321. So you raise that and you'll get a Walk of Fame sign. So what that is, it's a 18 by 24 yard sign that we put along the walk route on your way from Shenley Plaza to Phipps Conservatory. So as we are, walking along, it's an awesome way to be able to see all of our families, all of our buddies in all different ages, and just doing life in glorious color as we're walking around. We also have on the Walk of Fame, we also have purpose signs. We have Down syndrome myths that are debunked, I guess, with truth showcased. So we have that as well along the way. So that's our Walk of Fame. And then the other cool thing is you do get to take that sign and you get to take it home. So we put that in our front yard as soon as we got home, and it stayed there all fall until the snow came out, and then we brought it inside. So one of those really fun things. And then the big heads. This was a big one I feel that it was a big one for individuals with Down syndrome. Like our buddies really appreciated having that big head of themselves. I have a really awesome picture of my just walking around with hers all day. I mean, it was just absolutely fabulous. And so this year we decided to offer 2 for the for the team captains. So that way, if the individual Down syndrome wants to carry theirs around, and Nicole proud mom wants to carry Skylar's around, that's what that's there for. So we decided to do 2 this year. And then with $2,500, then you get a choice of these 2 limited items. So it's a beanie with our logo or a custom Yeti. And then $5,000, you get a social media spotlight. So here's one of, hey guys.
Hello.
For the fashionably late.
That's okay, welcome. You too, whatever you want.
Yeah, this side.
Go ahead.
Here, you guys will have to share. But yeah, so $5,000 plus gets you the social media spotlight, and so that's something that we will highlight. We get to share your story. We showcase, all sorts of pictures, but it's an opportunity that not only are you sending it out to, your inner circle, it's now going out to our huge distribution list. And then $10,000 gets you up on stage, as well as your team name on the back of our event t-shirt. So that is one of those really awesome coveted things to have, to have that. So we had 3 teams last year that had their names on the list that had raised $10,000 by that qualifying date. So the big piece too is that big qualifying date of September 27th. So we put that in there so we can get all of those awesome things for you in time for the Buddy Walk. So just to keep that in mind as you're fundraising, we want you to be able to have all of this time to be able to, get to that by that date. So what questions does anybody have on any of those things?
This is probably more like a fundraising idea, but we have our sign in our yard still. And I don't know much about like QR codes and stuff, but I always see people walking by and stopping and looking at it. So I don't know, I might use something from our sign last year to incorporate.
Yeah.
Leading up to it.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
People always stop at one.
Yeah, you live in a high traffic area.
Yeah, exactly.
And there is some open space on there that you can easily stick a QR code. And I can create it for you.
Yeah, we can certainly do that.
Directly to your page. Yeah. Can you?
Yes.
Masha's-
I'm on it, yep.
But no, that's a great idea, and maybe that's even something we incorporated this year's Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
Is that we put just a generic QR code getting you to that Buddy Walk site.
After the fact, like you could put it up and,
Yep.
have it and.
Just continue to go, absolutely. So we did not put a date last year in the hopes that you could continue to use it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna continue, I want it to be a different design, so for those of us repeating, that you can come back and still have, maybe I now have 2 signs, it's a different picture, and it looks different. So we'll still have something like that, but I think adding that QR code would be a great resource.
And that goes with what Joe had mentioned earlier, that he took his own Buddy Walk page and made it a 1-pager printout with a QR code to his page and posted it, at his local pool in his community, and then he gave it to neighbors. So I think that ties in perfectly with that. There's so many different ways to share, and hey, that's your neighbor that is, walking by and get that attention. So I think that's awesome.
That is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And everything we're talking about tonight too is to help you reach these goals. So, we're trying to make sure that we're giving you the tools to, help you increase your own personal fee. All right, here are some key dates to remember. So the big one, as you're asking friends and family to walk with you, if they want an event t-shirt, so that is the t-shirt that says Pittsburgh Buddy Walk, and every year we have a different design, different color, TBD, we haven't decided all of that yet. And then on the back is all of your sponsors that, the partners that have worked with us, and then those top teams are going to be on the back. So it's just one of those really awesome, who loves a great event t-shirt. So I don't want anyone to miss out on that. We don't order very many extras, so I, just want to throw that out there one more time. September 10th is to make sure we get everyone on your team registered by then. Because we all know grandma's gonna come, and uncles are gonna come, get them on there and ready to go.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Register people, does that amount towards funds raised?
It does.
for anything?
Mhm.
It does.
So even if they don't, okay, so, sorry.
No,
No, that's a great question.
No, that's a great
The
question.
bigger your team is, obviously, the more it is.
So I'm gonna just use my hands here, but on the bottom of the budget page, we have the top 5 fundraisers, and then we have the top 5 fundraisers. So however many people, the more people that you have, you're lucky you have to, yes. So the more people that are, on your team and registered, you are gonna be higher in that. So we want to encourage and promote bigger teams as well as bigger fundraisers. For sure. And so the registration with the t-shirt for adults is $20, and then for kids it's $10 with the t-shirt. Without a t-shirt, it's $10 for adults and $5 for kids. So individuals with Down syndrome are always free, and they all get a free t-shirt. So just to make that note of that as well. 927, we just talked about it, but I just want to say again, is the fundraising incentives, so to make sure that you have that marked. And then we just have some really cool things happening. On October 5th, we've partnered with Trace Brewery, and they are doing a fundraiser with us. So all of the fundraise at that event is going directly into the Buddy Walk total. So it's not going to anybody's team, it's just going to the global Buddy Walk pot in general. But that's Lawrenceville.
Like Bloomfield area, yep. And we will have adults with Down syndrome guest bartending, so mark your calendars and, come out, it'll be a big event. I believe it is a Thursday. Yes.
Yeah. I mean.
So yeah, stay tuned for more details, but that is in the works and it's booked, so. Yeah, they have non-alcoholic drinks as well.
And then the Buddy Walk, you didn't see that anywhere. So that is the Sunday, Shelby Plaza at the Heart of Oakland. And then our last day to close all of the Buddy Walk donations is we try to wrap it up at the end of October. So just a sidebar, October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month, so that's why we do this in October and why we try to, finish everything up in October so we can shout to the world. This is what our organization raised for, promoting Down syndrome here in our side of the world. Any questions on any of those things? Right, so one of the really, really cool things that you can do as a team captain is on your page is you can share your story. And this is an opportunity that we have set it up, that there is a default that talks about why it is that we do what we do, and what the Buddy Walk is, but I really want to encourage you all to take the time and to write a real bio. So our board director, Vice President Joe Beeman has put this together, and it is just absolutely fabulous. It shares about his son Atlas, just about their family, why it is that they are walking and why we're raising funds. So this is a great example to do that. There's some other great pages on there as well. But I just want to encourage you to take the time to do that. If you guys want to bounce some ideas off either Masha or myself, we are happy to help with that. You guys do have full editing capabilities of this, but we also do as well. So if there's, if it's getting frustrating to you and you just want to send us a quick email, we can easy copy and paste it.
And look,
same with pictures.
yeah,
Can I edit my page now that it's up and running though? I can go back and keep adding.
absolutely.
Keep adding it, yep.
So that's one of the things we'll get into social media, but you can integrate your Instagram with it too. So it can have a scrolling feed of your Instagram pictures. And if you didn't want it to be your personal feed, you can make a Buddy Walk, profile and have those pictures. So there's a lot of fun ways and you can do as much or as little as you want. And like Meredith said, we are happy to help. with anyway, but also great ways to look at other people's pages too and kind of get an idea of what they included, because again, as much or as little as you want to share, but it's your page, it's customizable to whatever extent you want.
And one of the things that Masha and I are, trying to do our best is also to make sure that our teams do have pictures. So as we're seeing new teams created, it's the default Bunny Walk logo that you automatically get, which is great. But, can you have a picture of it, right? I mean, that's what we want to see.
There you go.
Yes, I just encourage you, if you want to have some fun with it and change it up, like if you want to put
Yeah.
a picture, right now, my daughter Macy was, she opened our fashion show in March. So she was the one that kicked the whole program off. So it's a picture of her with her microphone at Ross Park is what her shirt. So it's things like that, but she just had some awesome baseball. So maybe I switch it up and it switches over to baseball. So there's just, it just continues to keep your, people engaged that are coming to your page.
The fashion show movie.
It was fantastic. Yes.
Absolutely.
I swear, I think we had just found out about it the day after we went there. And I was like, what? We were
Just one day. Right.
So the next slide here, and there's a lot of information on here. So this is more of a resource, but I wanted to touch on some of the big things. So leading by example, this very first one is you yourself making that donation and saying, I'm committing to donating $25 to my team. And then you share it on social media and you say, hey, I just donated to my team. Will you join me? Who wants to match my $25? And starting it off big. So the more that you are sharing about what you personally are doing for your team, it gets more people excited because of course they want to be like you. Make it a family affair. Encourage, we like the $21. So encourage, challenge your family members to donate $21. We just have a default of 21 since that's our favorite number around here. Talk to your coworkers, talk to your boss and ask if they would be willing to donate. We have this really awesome opportunity with getting more donations matched. Sometimes your employer will match donations. So we do have a tool that we reference later on how you can go in and look at your employer and see if they match. And it actually takes you through that process of what you need to do. Or you can reach out directly to your HR department, they can help you. Get social, we've talked about this a lot, but sharing on all of your social media platforms. LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I don't know if anyone's still doing Twitter these days, but there's,
We have a Twitter.
and you can share it in so many different ways.
MySpace is beginning.
Any channel works.
Right, but the more that you're sharing, and when I say share on social media, you're not just resharing your page and saying, hey, give me money. I would say something like, hey, Macy just had the opportunity to, but like,
Oh, here, let's see. I think we're rebooting.
your own computer rebooting your system?
No, the click share. So technical difficulties. There we go. We're back on. Let me.
No, we don't have to. All right, you guys still there?
Yeah, you never lost us. We just lost video feed. We heard you the whole time.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, little technical difficulties here.
As we learn.
But yeah, so when I say like to share on social media, I want you to share something personal, to be able to say, my daughter Macy did this with DSAP and this is, this made a big benefit for her, or, as one of the leaders of this organization to be able to say, hey, did you know that DSAP just helped a family in Somerset this week? We had a brand new family that came in, and just share about our first call program. things like that, that we can tell the story of how this organization has affected us either personally or what we have seen in the community. So this is your opportunity to share your story. And there's other tools in here that we'll talk about too, about how to do more of that. And email. We talked about already, so in your team captain piece is you can actually email all of the people that are already part of your team. You don't have to open your email and copy and paste everybody's email address. You can just go right into the tool and do all of that. Also, old school thank you notes. I like postcards, because then I don't have to have all of it. All I have to do is just write an address and stick a stamp on it. So I make postcards with my daughter's picture on it. And then I have her, maybe I write it and then she signs her name. So she's still part of the thank you. She's still thanking those that have donated to us, and she's part of the process. And that's, another impact, another touch point that you can have with those that are supporting your team. And another awesome thing is that we do encourage our team captains is that every team captain bring a raffle basket. So that can be something that represents you. It can be something that represents your, child or adult with Down syndrome. I personally like to put together a basket that my daughter would love. So I put together her favorite things and bring it as Team Macy's basket. So it's certainly not a requirement. It's just something that we encourage our team captains to do. I have a couple of team captains that's their jam, and we have one mom that has brought us 8 or 10 each year. It's something that she does throughout the year. She's constantly collecting donations in her neighborhood. So the sky's the limit on how many raffle baskets that you can contribute, but we would do ask that every team can do that. And we like to keep it at a minimum of $50. So just to make it purposeful. So, yeah.
And something I do want to point out that you had mentioned, Nicole, so holiday card address list, so not underestimating the power of a pen. So if you send out holiday cards, you already have a great list of people that want to get updates from you and love to see your family. So I think that's a really good one and a good place to start too.
Yeah, and if you've created one of these, the one pager that you used, with your own personal story and your own QR code, just holding that up and putting it in there with your holiday list can go a long way. So, and I continue to hear that snail mail is where it's at now. People are opening snail mail. They're not opening emails, they're not opening text messages, but they're opening envelopes. So, just something to consider.
Absolutely.
Anybody with school-aged children, have you done anything at the schools that brought in some money?
Well, Evergreen in Monroe has done, we have 6 schools, and I plan on reaching out to all of them, but I know Skylar's school puts together a really nice, sensory friendly raffle basket. I know mom is a teacher at Gateway School, and I know she did a pizza party for World Down Syndrome Day to get money, and I'm almost certain she would be game for something else along those lines, but as long as your school is willing, they can pretty much do, as long as they're willing.
We've had families who had classroom competitions. So again, it depends on your school, your classroom, but they've competed, which class raised the most money, and then they had a pizza party for the winner. Yeah.
That's what Alexis did, and I said that we can branch out to the other schools. There's, like I said, there's 6 elementary schools just in Gateway, so she coordinated 2, and maybe we'll do a couple more next year. But yeah, it's a cool idea if your elementary school will be like, hey, whoever can raise the most money in your classroom.
Yeah, and same thing I think with sports too. So teams, everyone gets together like pasta parties, things like that. I think the sky's the limit again, depending on what you're involved in, what, school, sports, extracurriculars, whatever that looks like within your community. So it's really about what do you do within your community? Where are those people and what works best for you, really?
I mean, if anybody's involved in churches also,
Mhm.
churches are, they'll help nonprofits if you're involved with the organization.
So, and we have a form letter too that has, it has all of our information, like the Down Syndrome Association saying it is a nonprofit, with our tax ID. That we can, give a PDF to whoever needs that, to be able to ask for donations or to utilize in your school fundraising. As a form letter to utilize that. So it has my signature on it and.
I had one question I would assume to ask would be, since you guys are having the fundraiser now, how would like a family go about if you're doing multiple fundraisers at the same time that just so happen to fall on the same date, I guess, like, because I think like right off the bat, you start asking, because Willow has a foundation that was set up in her name, and then we also started doing something with the National Down Syndrome Society, and then obviously we want to start doing things that are more local because we're, we live here now. So that was kind of my curiosity. So I was telling Megan, because clearly we've been, I feel like, you always feel like you're asking, you turn on the band, can't always you can't do whatever, so like this. So I'm just curious, when you have something like that, is there any advice that maybe I'm not thinking about outside of the box to where you
Can people volunteer their
can?
time, like their time maybe? Can you volunteer your time at one versus monetary somewhere else, or like things like that, like?
We're talking about like, I guess, the walks that were part of as far as volunteering, no, because our family, we moved here from out of state, so
Okay.
we're still meeting people. It's probably our first time being out since we moved here in December. So I guess just that whole process, because we're still building community, right? We're still building neighbors and stuff like that. So, but I know we have a team, and I know, we have people that are pledging money, but I was just kind of curious, like how we would, because I know by next year we would hope to divert some of the funds from her foundation to more local things that we're working with personally and stuff like that. So
It's just a lot of just the conversations that you're having, like if you want to focus a certain time of your fundraising to NDSS.
and
that's-
you guys.
And then another time where you're, maybe you're spending the money of this and you're focusing on, the Pittsburgh area.
Because this is the largest, I'm assuming this is the largest fundraiser of the
It is.
year.
Mhm.
The walk,
Yeah,
right?
we just do 2 fundraisers.
And then
yeah.
things throughout the year, so we still have opportunities.
Absolutely, and
It's just,
you guys are new here, so I also would encourage you as a family that's here to come and meet and see what this is all about.
Oh, yeah.
And enjoy, yeah.
I feel like somebody we can follow up with the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And
And we
that's
can
the
bring
best
just some
part, too.
spicy food and stuff. I was just curious, because I know so many people have, like you said, their schools and their daycares. For us, we're so used to, it's like, I feel like we're just fresh off the.
There's another new family that will be here, that's the same one, they're like trying to. They
Right,
guys,
so
yeah.
Because it's like, well, shoot, I guess you're the main focus now. I just started to sure that, we allocate,
Right.
how much of what we can do, so that was all.
Yeah.
Too, just sharing your story too, I think it helps to say that you're part of NDSS, that you're doing this, that you're doing all that, and I like the idea of, there could be different times, there could be different fundraising goals, that they're working towards similar goals, so I think, it doesn't have to be that you're limiting one or taking away from another, so I think sharing that too is great.
It says, you had met them, I think in New York, that we went to, they were the very first people we met, right, so we're like, we're doing, but I keep on saying, we definitely want to start doing.
That walks. Yes, in September, so it's like,
Yeah, yeah, which is nice. Nice, so that our families, if they want to do both, can do both.
Which are coming here.
Yeah.
And when person comes here,
Yeah,
where we build that team, New York, expensive, big everything.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Y'all in your own way.
Right. So here's just some more, we're just continuing to give different fundraising ideas. So just as we're talking about, just even if you, using your example, of getting everybody to New York, well, here in Pittsburgh, as a city of bridges, getting everybody to Shelly, that may be difficult. So I live in the South Hills, so one of the things that I like to do is really engage my local community. So this year, I'm actually holding a formal tournament. So I've rented a building in South Park, and that's gonna be our big fundraiser. So I can ask those in the South Hills for, you know, food sponsors and things like that. And then I can get, you know, my son's baseball team, my daughter's band, and, you know, getting our local community involved in an event that's a Sunday afternoon, but it's right in South Park, so they don't have to go anywhere versus, you know, coming all the way down to street.
I think that's really cool. I like that idea.
Because during COVID, when we did the, you know, we couldn't have a walking person, we had a food truck at our house in our neighborhood. And that was the first time that I, one, met all of my neighbors. Two, was our biggest fundraising year. Because, you know, everybody just wanted to help, and they saw the need. And we have, you know, recently moved to the neighborhood, so it was just all of these different components. So I wanted to do that again this year. I wanted to bring something into my neighborhood where I can get, you know, my friends and family to come, because I've never had, I'm just sharing a little personal story, I've never had a big team. Nobody will come all the way to Oakland. They just won't. I mean, I know there's good intentions and people will donate, but to have a formal tournament where we can get teenagers and all our people in an event like that, really looking forward to that. So that's in September. So building that up is for, you know, 2 months out. So there's things like that that you can do locally. You can have a bake sale. You can, you know, I've seen lemonade stands, you know, just in your neighborhood, just little things like that that don't take as much effort as a formal tournament does. And I'm also hoping to get some other team families involved, because I just think that would just, you know, get a little more, you know, yes. More contacts, more circles of people, and so yeah, is there any? Oh, and here we talked about a game night, hosting a bowl-a-thon at a bowling alley. Going to a local restaurant. I mean, you've seen like Texas Roadhouse, you know, different restaurants will have, you know, a 10% night, and you can invite your friends and family. So we can do stuff like that too, that would benefit your team. In your own neighborhood. So there's different organizations like that too. I've also heard of people, you know, going to their favorite bar and asking the bartender, you know, asking the owner, will you run a special, you know, with a drinking after my, I don't. And, you know, $1 goes to that. So I may be stealing your idea, Joe. I'm sharing that.
Hey.
Whatever works in the neighborhood.
I'll send myself one out. Get this done.
Yeah. There's so many different things that you can do. And for those of you that have Facebook, we have this awesome Facebook integration. So you can set up a Facebook fundraiser directly on your page. So, and then all of that just goes, you'll see as donations come in, it just automatically goes right on your money. So, and that's all you're doing is just putting that up.
And there's an entire guide on how to do that as well that walks you through it.
Yeah.
And then the other big one is approaching sponsors. So if you ask your employer, or I personally have a friend that owns a business, you know, going to her and saying, hey, would you support our team? So the lowest activity sponsor is $250, and then it goes all the way up to $5,000. So there are levels for everyone to be able to, you know, participate and contribute to that. And any, yes,
Go on, I'm sorry. I was just gonna, she had messaged me about something with sponsorship, so go on, I'm sorry, I apologize.
So any, you know, partners, sponsors that you bring in specifically go directly to your team. So Carrie, I'll put you out, like she went to her employer and, you know, got sponsorship, so that money went right to her team. So to know that all of that will go right over
You had mentioned about the candles. This is kind of where that would kind of fall if your sister, right? If she would I don't know, like, give a portion of that or something like that. I know you guys said you were doing one for the NDSS, but this is where it could potentially.
We had thought about doing like just, we did it through Pittsburgh, any Pittsburgh sales, she has the freedom of doing, whatever percentage.
Is she an online store?
I guess. And so we're trying to think of how to tie that in to where whatever sales we have from just Pittsburgh, and allocate to that. But it's all about just trying to make sure that we give back to where ultimately she is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to work with them in the beginning, but like I said, as we get more involved with different organizations, like, oh, okay, there's a lot, especially with our Dr. Kaladi, he's like, different stuff through Down syndrome center. So you go, oh,
Yeah,
you should start bringing things closer to here, because, they're, I think, out of Washington DC, so it's kind of like, so that's where we're at, but that's why we're excited with just baby steps, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll have some cornhole going on.
Yeah.
So yes, we are also very close with the Down Syndrome Center, Dr. Belotti's team. So you'll see us give a large check on stage at the event as well. So of course, I know what it is that we raise with those. We want to support. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was our. We just all do together.
Yeah.
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 That's cool.
Yeah. And then there's just some information here in red. It just says that the average last year, the average additional raise was $150 per team that did these mini fundraisers. So, it is a little extra effort, but it'll help you get those incentives quicker. Yeah, here's some more social media tips. I know we've talked a lot about different things, but specifically here about sharing, we've given you guys specific ways to share, when to share, how to share. We also have, talking about staying engaged, following DSAP social media so that you're seeing, when the team captain event is, when the next incentive is, when is the next, this deadline, or maybe you want to see a team spotlight and be able to catch that. So there's lots of different things that we encourage you guys to stay engaged, what it is that we're sharing, and we're also helping you with the dates and things like that. But yeah, so here's, talking about that if you have a goal of $1,500 and you only have $250 to go, sharing that. I'm so close to my goal. Then you exceed your goal and you're like, okay, I made a bigger goal. Who wants to help me get to now $3,000 and things like that. So just to continue to keep it going and get more interest and things like that.
And I think Throwback Thursday, Flashback Friday posts go a long way. People love to see that. And it's just fun and just making it fun. It's not always, asking donation, but just sharing why you love the walk and that you were there and just celebrating.
And then you just put your URL
Right
to your page.
It just
at
goes.
the bottom of the
Yeah.
post. And people, if they're not being asked to give,
Right.
they're encouraged to give from your story. You want to make sure it's on there. And Facebook makes it so easy. And we even have the Apple Pay option too. So we all know our phones just know what to do. So rather than making you type it all in, it just goes right there. Apple Pay, boom, comes right to the page. And this is the first year we've had Apple Pay, so it's a new endeavor for us. I'm excited to see how that helps. Yeah, and so Masha's also prepared these awesome social media, just wording, how to get you, what to say, what to encourage, and things like that, which hashtags to use. And all of them have your URL.
Yeah, and that's like we said, there's fun ways to do this. If you're stuck, look at our page, look at other people's pages, also just reach out. We're happy to think of something fun, help you create something. The sky's the limit, really. But these are just a couple of examples. And that's kind of what's nice about engaging with our social media. When you don't have your own, like, what can I do? What can I post? Just go to our page and share an old post that we had on. We've typically been doing Buddy Walk Wednesdays, so there could be something fun to share on a Wednesday. And if you didn't want to come up with something brand new on your own, but then these are just a couple of small examples of like we said, we're back for this number of year. This is our blank buddy walk, register, donate today. Can't join us. You can just be a part of our team. So different little ways that you can engage people.
One of the other really cool things too is trying to get a donation from every state in the US. So we'd like to see that coming in too. So you can be like, hey, I mean, my family's from Ohio, so I can be like, hey, we really need an Ohio donation. Who's going to step up and be my Ohio donation? Who's going to be my South Carolina donation? So things like that.
So another thing, I used to run a business off of Facebook. One of the things that I found extremely helpful is if you're busy all week, you can plan your posts. You can do like throwback Thursdays and you can plan it all on Sunday. And posts will go up every single day and you'll get that engagement because somebody might look at your Monday post, and oh, that's cute. Then they'll look at Tuesday, oh, that's nice. And Wednesday, they might actually join. So hitting people every single day and you planning it so you don't have to sit on Facebook every single day. It helped a lot for me when I was running my business. So that's another thing. And also you commenting on your friend's page will also get the algorithm so they'll see your stuff more. So if you go on there and say, oh, your kid's cute, they will then see more stuff more.
That's a great point. Absolutely. Yeah, the more you engage, the more people will see, like, and specifically commenting too. So not just liking, but commenting. It'll show up on other people's feeds. That's a great point.
Yes.
This next one may be one of my favorite
Yeah.
new tools. Social media bingo. Okay, so what this is you would create your own. And what you're doing is you're asking your friends and family to donate in one of these amounts. And then what you're doing is you're crossing it off. So you would keep updating this to say, okay, here's where my bingo is. And then after your whole page is filled, then you would give away something to your friends. So whether that's a 25, like you invest in a $25 target card to give away to your friends.
Is this graphic?
We can, yeah, this is made so we can send it to you, but it's customizable as well. You know, if you wanted to reach a total amount of some sort, like it says, pick the donation amount. If you want to have a freebie where you started it. So a really fun way of engaging people that I've seen works really well is people love also, sometimes they don't, sometimes they do love to be recognized. So if it's Instagram or Facebook, you know, you cross it out and then you put who donated. So you tag them, especially Instagram. I've seen that work really well. So Meredith took that square, Nicole took that square. And then, you know, I see, well, I want to be on that square. And so you get on there as well. So there's fun ways, you know, direct message me, contact me, or if people tell you on the side, then you can cross them off as well. So I've seen this be really successful
And
on
it can
social
also
media.
just be not that you even have to have the prize, it can just be intrinsically valuable that they helped you fill your bingo.
Right.
I mean, it's really just getting the buzz because they're feeling good that they helped you reach your goal. So, I mean, I think there's that piece to it too. So I wouldn't feel obligated that you have to have an engage with this is what you get. So yeah, so we can get that. If you guys are interested in that, we have that to share. We also wrote an email for you. And we can certainly, I don't expect you to have to retype this. We can easily share it to you. Just reach out to us at info@, and info@DSA, where information is all over the place. And we can just copy and paste that to you. So this is a information about DSAP, about the buddy walk, but then you can also put, you know, if you're writing to a certain restaurant, you can say, my family is here every Wednesday night, my server is this, like you're making it personal as to why you are reaching out to this organization. And this is your opportunity, and then you could put your own, you know, URL here at the bottom, and then you want to make sure you're signing in with your contact information. And then I also recommend if you are sending this or you're dropping it off, that you're also planning to follow up.
Yes.
So if you're emailing it to someone, you need to mark it down that you emailed them on this day and follow up in a week. Because if you just send it out there and there's no follow-up, they're not going to do anything with it. So if you drop it off at a restaurant, the next Wednesday that you're there, you're going in tasking and talk to the manager and say, hey, I just wanted to check in. Did you get a chance to read it? Or, you know, can I talk more about it? And then here's just the donation FAQs. So a big question that I often get is, can I write a check? Yes, you can, and we put that on here. We've also provided you with our tax ID that we are a 501(c)(3). Everyone that donates automatically gets a tax receipt when they donate through our website, but if they're sending us a check, we will then mail them a snail mail letter, giving them that tax information. If people give you cash, I would recommend that you do write your own check or take it to the bank and get a cashier's check. I don't recommend sending that in the mail. So the people can give you cash. If you don't feel comfortable doing any of those things and you want to meet Marcia or myself, we can do that as well. Or we can, periodically get our directors that's close to you. So I just, please won't put that in there. But our address is right here. And that comes directly to us, and so we process all of this things quickly. So if a check does come in the mail, we manually tap it to your team. So we want to make sure that we encourage anything that's being sent to us. If grandma's sending it directly to us, it needs to say Theo's team on it, so we know it goes to. So sometimes people get on, it just makes it very sad, but it goes into the general.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think, oh, and you have people outside my area, yes, anybody can participate. So if somebody wants to register and they still want a t-shirt, absolutely. It's not my favorite, I don't want to encourage that we're gonna ship a bunch of t-shirts, but we can do that. And maybe they just want to just t-shirt, we can work all of that out, it's not a problem. And then we talk about the matching program, that if you do, you personally or anyone that donates to your team, encourage them to look at the jar of ashes because most employers don't. And then lastly, just how much does it cost? We talked about this earlier, but I just wanted to make sure it is brain as for you guys. But we do have an FAQ section, we talked about on the front page of the Buddy Walk. There's all those wonderful tabs. Just continue to look at them. To see, well, as the event gets closer, we have an event tab, so we will have the actual schedule, what's happening, where you need to go, where you need to park, where the map will be, all of the space planning and things like that will all be there as we get closer.
I have another question on the employee match. So like, is there a way to find out, PNC, if they do employee match?
Yep.
That it falls, because I'm sure there's multiple people fundraising within, working for the same companies that we.
It's
find out.
Yeah, it's anybody. I mean, if you work there, your employer will match you. So they can match.
We just have to notify you. I guess I'm saying like, if someone works for UPMC and someone else works for UPMC, is there a way to you guys say UPMC will match if you work for them? To kind of eliminate if there are people wouldn't go to HR, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I thought I had it on here. It's DSA, it's on our website. We actually have a tool.
Oh,
Type it
so
in.
you
would go in and you would type in your employer, so you would type in UPMC. And then it'll take
automatically.
it'll take you through the process. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you had to go in, find out, and then go to HR.
No, so some of the organizations, they actually will take you directly to that employer match site on their website. So sometimes you can just do it right online virtually, or sometimes it's actually, you have to print out a piece of paper, you sign it, you mail it to me, I fill out the confirming that it did go in, and then I scan it and email it back. So, and then we get a check in the mail. And then when that match comes in, because I know, because I'm the one that's filling these out,
Yeah.
I know when I, write it down that, hey, Leah has this match coming in. So when that, $100 comes in, I then credit it to your team.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a really easy way to get your team boosted.
Yeah, definitely.
Just by encouraging your employers. So we have that too in our receipt. When you do give a donation, we have that URL to say, hey, it's called double your donation. So check here, type in your employer just right there to see if it's in there. But yeah, anybody else have any questions?
Good. It's a lot of information, and that's why this is recorded, so it'll be a resource, and it's hard to know what all is out there, and that's why we try to break it down, and if you just take some time to play around on the website, all of the guides are there. I mean, we tried to gather it all into one place with the slideshow, but it's all, broken down, like we said, in the general FAQ versus a team captain FAQ versus how do I do the Facebook part? There's a guide for that. So there's a lot more guides on the Buddy Walk website as well. So if you have other questions, but know that we are a resource as well. So if you just want to ask, please do so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think we were able to answer everybody's questions.
I think so, yeah, and I didn't see anything else in the chat, but we kind of went through all of the questions that were submitted ahead of time, and if we didn't answer your question, please speak up, please reach out, and we can certainly follow up with more detailed information. But we took everyone's submitted questions into consideration, and we will have the schedule and activities outlined soon. That is coming. So stay tuned.
Yep, along with that t-shirt design, and all
Yes.
the other things, it is coming.
Fantastic.
Very, very exciting. Well, thanks so much, guys, that joined us online.
Thank you.
all for being here. Really appreciate it.
Bye, Joe.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.